which we have not understood so far in this infinite Sansaric journey. As a result, we are suffering and we are blind without without the understanding or without knowing the pathway which could eliminate the Sansaric journey and ultimately end up in blissful Nibbana. So, since this is a accumulation of causes that creates this moment, since we have created immeasurable merits to get an opportunity to even hear a word called Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, all the meritorious power which we have gathered in this samsaric journey, we agglomerate together to create the background and the environment for us to understand and comprehend the Supreme Dhamma, opening the eyes of wisdom. With that blessing, accept this blessing with the sadhukara.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
And let us also remind ourselves that we might have done various kinds of unethical deeds during this samsaric journey. We might have done bad deeds towards the triple gems, unwholesome actions towards the triple gems, without knowing what is right and what is wrong because of avidya. We might have chose hurting, we might have chose stealing or killing and unethical deeds like that, and hurted nobles with our qualities. And let us determine ourselves that we would not do such kinds of things again, and we are seeing the fault in ourselves. And with that thought, let us seek forgiveness. By forgiveness, what is meant is we are seeing the fault of our actions, and we are promising ourselves in front of Supreme Buddha that we are not going to do these kinds of unwholesome acts again. With that thought in mind, recite sadhukara.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
So,
Thero, may I disturb you for a second? There is a small drop in terms of the volume. When it's high, it gets captured. When it goes a little low, difficult to hear. Maybe it's a proximity to the device.
yeah. If I get this closer to me, then it would be okay.
Should be better. Earlier, there was when it's loud, the volume is up, can hear clearly. When the tone goes down, its audibility is quite low. Now it looks okay there.
Okay. If there's a problem like that, please let me know. So I think the lighting is also a bit out of place.
There is, when you are at the end of the sentence,
yeah, I can hear.
Yeah, when even earlier at the tail end of the sentence, the last 2-3 words, there is a drop in terms of the there's a sort of a drop happening.
The best thing I can do is I'll join the audio from the other device and
I am not able to hear you yet, Thero. Not yet. Can hear you now, Thero, but I'm not sure which device it's.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, and it feels more clear at the moment.
Yeah, I think it would be clear because this is the other device that I connected.
It's much better, Thero. We can go ahead this way. Thank you very much.
Yeah, okay. So for today's discussion, I thought since I have got few questions regarding how to practice the Arya pathway practically, and when I was referring to the question, I thought that I should stick onto the basics today and help you to uh, understand how to practice and understand the reality of Dhamma, the reality discussed in Dhamma. So we are mainly focused on three things: anicca, dukkha, and anatta. So that's the basics of this Dhamma, and this is the heart, core concept of Dhamma or heart of Dhamma, the anicca, dukkha, and anatta nature. And there's a important thing that you need to understand, and that is this world, the worldly beings are continuing this Sansaric journey because of raga, dvesha, and moha, because of gratification or attachment. Attachment is the reason these worldly beings um, continue to have this sansaric journey, which happens to be a cycle that goes in rounds and rounds without being able to find a stop to this journey. So the main culprit or main reason for this sansaric journey is attachment, and that is very important to understand and remember. And that is also called as gratification. So gratification for sensual pressures, that is images, sounds, then there's the smells, tastes, touches, and also there's this mind that takes up this information, and then they are being processed, and you like that as well, thought process and thoughts as well. So this is the world that we like, and the Supreme Buddha states that sentient beings would not continue this sansaric journey if they do not find, if there was no gratification. No, so the gratification is the reason why the uh, sentient beings are attached, or sentient beings are continuing this sansaric journey. And there is a reason for sentient beings to eliminate this sansaric journey as well, and that is called adinava. That is seeing the negative aspect of this world, negative aspect of this sansara. So when sang means raga, dvesha, moha. Sara means you perceive it as good and valuable and essential. So that is sansara. The meaning of sansara is something like that. Sang is raga, dvesha, moha, and that is what creates this journey. And you think that raga, dvesha, moha is sara, or it as valuable, essential, and good. So that is what creates a sansara, and that is the etymology of the word sansara. So when someone sees sansara as not sara, that means you see that sansara has nothing to do with sara, or nothing to do with value, nothing to do with essence, nothing to do with the good. So you see that there's no value in it, and that is the negative seeing. That is seeing of the negative aspect of sansara. and that is called Adinava. And Anicca, Dukkha, and Anatta explains this Adinava nature or the negative aspect of samsara, and that is the reason why sentient beings eliminate this sansaric journey and attain Nibbana. So there's these two reasons why sentient beings get attached to samsara and why they eliminate this sansaric journey. And that is a very important statement that Supreme Buddha has he has stated. So that is very important to remember when practicing Dhamma. So now when practicing Dhamma, we can understand now that then sansaric journey is a result of attachment. So if we could somehow get rid of these attachments, get rid of these problems we have in ourselves due to attachment, and attachment leads to raga, dvesha, and moha. When these three are there are a lot of problems in our life. And if you could find a way to get rid of this attachment, and that is that is by seeing the negative aspect of this sansara, and that would eliminate the sansaric journey, and that is our goal. So to get into the goal, we have to find the pathway how to practice Dhamma. So what is a Arihat? What is known as an Arihat? Arihat is somebody, a person that who is devoid of raga, who is devoid of dvesha, and who is devoid of moha. So if someone wants to become an Arihat or end this sansaric journey once and for all, that is by getting rid of all the raga, getting rid of all the dvesha, and getting rid of all the moha. So raga, dvesha, moha is the problem we should have then. Others also, let's say the Arihat also gets hungry. He also wants to use the washroom when needed. He also feels the warmth and the coldness. He also needs to be there in a hermitage or somewhere where there's a roof. So there are things that both us and Arihats use. But there are things that Arihats don't use, and only sentient beings and all the other beings with Raga Dvesha Moha use. And that is this again, this Raga Dvesha Moha. So Raga Dvesha Moha is not used by Arihats. Avidya is not used by Arihats. Tanha or attachment is not there in an Arihat's mind. So when it comes to sentient beings, they do just everything that an Arihat does, and uh, on top of that, they create raga thoughts, raga actions, raga language, or ragic words, and also this is the story about dvesha and moha as well. So when we are practicing the meditation, or when we are practicing the practical pathway to nibbana, what we should focus is the ragic moments and the moments of dvesha, and especially those two, because moha is about, that we can say that it is ignorance, but it is a very what do you call it as, we can call it as a thick component of ignorance. So when someone is ignorant, then he is more and more ignorant, we call that person a fool or an idiot. So likewise, when we become, when our ignorance or avijja becomes so intense that that condensifies, or that condenses to create more and more ignorance, making us a foolish person in terms of Dhamma. We are not talking about, we are not uh, talking from the aspect of the worldly things, because in the world we might be called a very important and intelligent person, but when we are when we are seeing from a point of dhamma, point of reality, our actions might be foolish, our actions might be idiotic. Because of that, we can call it ignorance, but a bit of the sentence or the word is, you have to multiply it by several times to get the real meaning of moha, because moha is a very developed or very advanced level of ignorance. So that kind of raga, dvesha, and moha is the root of moha is ignorance. The root of raga is mana, and that is the ego that one develops. And the root of dvesha is called uddhacha. Uddhacha is the very simple level of conflicting mind that occurs as a result of not having the way you want. So let's say that now these three are there: raga, dvesha, and moha. So this is different in different individuals. So one individual might have more raga, less dvesha, and more moha. Some individual can have more dvesha and less raga and moha. So this three gives various combinations. We call that if the raga is more, we call the person ragadika. If dvesha is more, we call the person dveshadika, because the dvesha is more. And if the moha is more, then we call that person mohadika. And there are people with two components that are higher: raga dveshadika, raga mohadika, raga dveshadika, and dvesha mohadika. Likewise, there are several kinds of people in this world, and these people, what they have to do to become an arihat is eliminating this raga, dvesha, and moha. To do that, the practice is just as the Supreme Buddha stated, and in the beginning that we stated in the beginning, what Supreme Buddha stated, and that is understanding and remembering and recalling the adinava and the negative aspect of life, the negative aspect of sansara, that is anicca, dukkha, and anatta. So we have to apply anicca, which is you cannot control it according to expectation. You have to use it in your day-to-day life, not in the instances that are neutral, but in the instances where raga occurs. What is raga? So let us take a hypothetical day of a person and apply this practice and try to become blissful. Now what you need to understand is, this is not something you do with effort. This is not a hard path. The every foot that you keep in this Arya pathway that moves towards Nibbana is blissful. That means it is not that you reach Nibbana and Nibbana is blissful and the pathway is so hard to do and it is um, so suffering. The pathway is equally blissful. That means, think like this. There's a place that is very cold, and we are in a place which is very hot, and we are moving from this very hot or a warm place to the cold place, and the coldness does not come in an instance. It gradually increases. So let's say here it's 30 degrees, and the point that we are referring to or that we are trying to reach is 0 degrees. That means the melting point of water. So if we are going there, so one footstep, if we keep one foot towards that point that we are referring to, so if we are walking towards that point, with each step the temperature will fall up until 0 when we reach the decided point. So likewise, Nibbana pathway is something that is blissful. The blissfulness starts from the moment that you start walking towards Nibbana. And then in the Nibbana, all the suffering that is created out of avidya would become zero, and that is the ultimate blissfulness, or the the highest blissfulness you can attain while living as a person. And at the Nibbana, when you reach your reach death, you will reach anupadisesa Nibbana, where all the suffering will be removed from your life, and that is the full blissfulness. That is called supreme bliss of Nibbana. And when you reach there, now the pathway, now this place is hot, this place is warm, full of raga, warmth of raga, warmth of desha, and warmth of moha is there. So if you want to reach Nibbana, which is devoid of raga, devoid of desha, and devoid of moha, what you need to do is you have to get rid of raga when it is occurring in your life. When dvesha is happening, when dvesha is occurring, because it's a fire, it's a burning sensation that creates, that occurs. It's a vexation. It's a suffering that occurs with raga. It's a suffering that occurs with dvesha. It's a suffering that occurs with moha. Now we are, from the beginning, we are actually referring to this vipassana meditation. So when we are doing the vipassana meditation, it's not that we are changing anything in our lifestyle. We are leading the same lifestyle. Most of the things, especially if we are doing unwholesome acts, that would change, because with while doing unwholesome acts, while doing sinful acts, while doing immoral deeds, we cannot complete this pathway. So those would definitely stop. But there are things that are needed to be done as a human being in a society. So we have to go to jobs. We have to do or clean our houses. We have to prepare food. We have to help our children or parents, or the people who are dependent on us. So those kinds of things are done by an Arya without any shortcoming, without any problem, without any dvesha, without any um conflicting mind, because that is not actually bothered, or that is not a problem for the Arya pathway to develop. So this is a different kind of a meditation. That's why we discussed in the in previous sessions also that this meditation can be practiced in all the four postures. What are the main four postures? You can practice it while standing, while walking, while sitting, and while you are in the sleeping posture. So not that you have to be in that posture, you can do it while you are doing things. So how how is that happening? How does this different kind of a meditation is, how you are going to practice the different kind of meditation? So when, let's say, when you get ragic thought, so what is raga? Raga is actually attachment. So when you see images, because it's a vipaka, your eyes meet outside images, and you create this mind of seeing, or consciousness of seeing is there, that it is created in your mind after seeing an object, after it grasping the light rays using the eyes. So when it is seen, and there are sound waves that are grasped by your ear, and the consciousness of hearing would occur, and likewise the consciousness of smelling and taste, and there's touch and thinking. That would occur. And when that occurs, based on what you see, what you hear, and what you feel, the there you start giving value to that item. Let's say, for example, now let's take a hypothetical day of a person where he's starting with raga and dvesha. So he's going to work in the morning after he's let's say now he's awakened in the morning. Now he feels that he has the full bladder. Now he feels like he wants to use the washroom. So that does not have anything to do with raga, dvesha, or moha, because an arihat also would use the washroom when needed. So this person does not have any raga. If somebody has a ragic thought when using the washroom, then that's a problem that needs to be addressed. But in usual practice, it is not something that creates raga. If ragic thought happens, you can identify. That's the that's the ability or the quality of this dhamma. It is called sandittika. You can see the sun. You can when you become sandittika, or there that is a quality of dhamma that you achieve. When someone becomes sandittika, sang means raga, dvesha, moha, and dittika means you can able to see. So when you are able to see raga, dvesha, moha, then you know what to do. So it is, or you can identify it. Now you are getting attached to this, and you are getting attached to that, and you are getting angry on this and angry on that, and you are becoming sad because this thing did not go as planned. So that can be identified in your mind that this is happening in you. So that's the sandittika. And with the identify with the knowledge, with the dhamma, you are able to uh, do what is necessary to get rid of this raga and dvesha and moha. So back to the scenario. So someone is using the washroom, and maybe he came to the after using the washroom, he feels hungry, and he thought of having the favorite food item that is there, and he is fond of this item, is addicted to this item. Let's say he likes to have pancakes in the morning. So he's addicted to these pancakes. If pancakes were not there, now we are having a hypothetical situation. So if pancakes are not there, then he's upset. He feels like buying some in the cafeteria or somewhere. So but there's other food in the house. There's rice, there's other fruits and everything, but he does not like to have them. He always wants this food item which is not there right now. Now think about, now this is raga. Now this is this, because beyond raga, if that person becomes so obsessed with it, so it can become lobha, and that is the that is the sinful nature of raga. And when the raga, the nature, ragic nature um, it when it exceeds the quality of raga, it reaches the quality of lobha. And lobha is actually a sinful state where you would do anything to achieve it. You would even hurt somebody, even steal from another person to have it. That kind of a mindset, when it reaches that kind of mindset, then that is called lobha. You feels like having it to yourself without giving anybody. You feels like hiding it when someone is coming, because you think that the other person would have it. That is the corrupted and the sinful nature of this quality of attachment, and that is called lobha. And that is the increased version of raga. And when raga extends some level, that that reaches lobha. So so when there's raga, so for this person is having raga at this moment. So if he feels like it is better if I could have this pancakes, but I am not. I am finding it today. I find it difficult to have those because there's nothing left in the house to prepare that food item. So think about the vexatious mindset this person gets. The only need here is to fill your belly, because after it goes down from your throat, you don't feel whether you ate this or that. It is before going to the throat that that is when it is in the mouth or the oral cavity, mouth cavity, you can feel the taste. It is the taste that creates the vexation. If taste is soothing, if taste is actually blissful, then what you can do a very small experiment. You can get the favorite food item you like, and then you can chew it in your mouth and just put it aside without swallowing. See whether you can feel the blissfulness that you thought. If the blissfulness is in the tasting, if the blissfulness is in the oral cavity, then you would have felt blissful and you would have felt nice and happy. But it is not the case. It develops vexation, and this vexation is not what you is. It is not the result you want. But as soon as you swallow it, since the hunger is subsided, you feel happy, you feel blissful. So it is the food that fills your belly, makes you uh, neutral, and that is what treats the hunger, and that is what feels like blissful. But in but what normal people would understand is that is a wrong understanding, and that is that this having a delicious food item is the way to get rid of this vexatious feeling and the vexatious hunger. But that is not the case. Anything that fills up the belly could remove the feeling of hunger. So, with that thought in mind, now see whether this person is enjoying his morning. No, he's not enjoying the morning. Instead, he is now his mind or the mindset. Now, if you can remember the Paticca pancake eating mindset, a vexatious mindset has occurred, and this vexatious mindset is now bothering this person. And now you have to think the adinava or the negative aspect of taking this food item as good, valuable, essential. Now you took this food item as good, essential, and um, nice. So you perceive it as good. So it has not done any good to you. Instead, it is creating so much vexation, so much suffering. Now the person has to go to nearby shops, nearby uh, places to find ingredients to prepare it, or buy a ready-made food item that can quench this vexation. And as long as this is treated, it would subside, but it would come back again on next day morning. So he would have to do the same thing again and again without uh, being able to remove the vexatious and suffering feelings that is actually created by this pancake, this food item. So it's the food item. So you are seeing the negative aspect of the food item that it is creating. If I did not have this kind of a vexatious mindset, then I would have eaten whatever is there in the house, and my belly would fill up. And when that happens, my hunger would subside, and um, I would have to deal with all this suffering. So think about it. Anicca is the quality of anicca. Okay, the characteristic of anicca is actually about vexation. So since this you cannot have it according to your expectation, so you cannot control according to your wish. You thought that your wish or your expectation was to fulfill your happiness or have a blissful feeling out of pancakes, but that is not the case. It is not what happened. It is the anicca nature, vexatious nature. So this vexatious nature is always there in every item. So for this person, it's for pancakes. For another person, it can be for rice. For another person, it can be for cake. Whatever the food item, it is all the food items. In fact, all the external items are like poison. As soon as you ingested the poison, it gives out bad results of death or near death experience. Lot of suffering. So this person has ingested the poison of these pancakes. So that's why he is suffering. So see the nature of anicca there, and see the nature of dukkha, which you had to go through sufferings, dukkha, sankhara dukkha, and viparinama dukkha, and see the essenceless nature and the pointless nature of this act, because this person had to go through a lot of suffering, go through a lot of suffering in order to get rid of this pain of the thought of having pancakes. And actually, it is not something that is experienced by another person who does not have that vexation. So you are first creating the vexation in your mind and creating that mindset initially, and then treating it to uh, get have the feeling of blissfulness, and that is pointless. Now these are things that we have discussed before. So you are applying that on that occasion, on the moment a ragic thought comes to your mind. So you felt that you want this food item, that this person felt that this person needs to have pancakes, otherwise he would not have breakfast. So think about the problems that he faced because of that. If he could see that there's nothing nothing blissful in pancake, it is if there's something blissful in the pancake, then everyone would like pancakes. But some people don't like them. Some people just throw it away. They never like to have pancakes. Others, they are neutral about it. Others like it. So for this same person, he might not like another food item. Let's say he does not like to have rice. So for another person, rice is his favorite. So when that happens, so since the rice or the pancakes did not have any blissful element in it, it is something you created in your mind. Because of that, understand that you have created a burden that is a burden on your own, and you are treating it now. So understanding that would remove the value that is given to this food item, and you would be able to get rid of this mischievous thoughts and greedy thoughts that occur uh, with regard to having pancake. And after some time, when you practice this, you would be able to have anything for breakfast without a problem, without getting a vexatious mindset. You are already having hunger, which is a vexation. That is why this word is called uh, full of, that is why we call this word to be full of suffering. So you already have a suffering, which is hunger, and you are not treating that hunger or treat that suffering. Instead, you have created more sufferings because you think that this world have blissful things that can be achieved from the outside world. So that's why you like these various kinds of food items, and that's why you are chasing after them. And because of that, on top of the vexation of hunger, you are having various kinds of other vexations that you need to treat. So the burden becomes so much more. So when you get rid of that, you understand that now my mind is so simple. Now my mind has become so peaceful that I can have anything for breakfast, and only thing I care about is filling the belly or getting rid of this hunger, feeling of hunger, of vexation that it creates. So that's what you need to understand with this scenario. So after his morning routine, now he is going to the office. So when he is reaching, when he is crossing the road, he sees uh, a shop where clothes are there. So this person finds a very beautiful cloth. Now, not that he does not have a big closet of clothes. He has the necessary clothes that are needed for his work, for his day-to-day activities. But as soon as this new garment or the outfit is seen, this person finds it very blissful or very valuable, and he thinks that I should buy this, because the vexatious mindset, or the uh, mindset that is created because of thinking that this outfit is good, and nitya sukata subha, the uh, cloth seeking mindset is created. Now cloth seeking mindset is again vexatious. Now this person, if the shop was closed, then he wouldn't have known that this kind of avidya was there in his mind. But funny thing is, sometimes the karma vipaka happens just like that. So it creates the environment for eyes to meet images. So when the image is met, if we have if we have this avidya, if we have this version of avidya, then it would start creating sankara, creating a cloth seeking mindset. The cloth seeking mindset is again anicca, and you have just ingested the poison. Before it was because of pancakes, now it is because of clothes. Now this clothes. Now you are thinking about the cloth. Now your peaceful mind, which was there before, you are just without hurting or harming anyone. You are just walking towards the office, but now that peaceful mind is just gone. Now there's a vexatious mindset. So think about the peaceful mindset you just had before, and think about how peaceful it was, how nice it was to not have this ragic feeling. So actually, what this cloth or the outfit did was it destroyed our peace, and it created a vexatious mindset, and that is seeing the negative aspect, and that is seeing adinava. So when you see adinava, and when you see this you have to see in the same way how you saw about the pancake. So you have to now think about it, and your mind is always vexatious about it. And when you, even if you have reached the office, your mind is in that cloth shop, or the your mind is attached to the this outfit. So you are thinking about buying it on the way home, and you have to earn more money to buy it. You have to spend a huge sum of your money to buy that suit. And even if you buy it, as soon as it is bought, just like the clothes in the closet, you just feel neutral about it, because we know how you feel happy. Because initially you have to have a vexation, then you have to treat the vexation, then you feel happy. So initially, as soon as you saw the cloth, you got the vexation. As soon as you bought it, the vexation is gone. Now you feel that the dress is neutral. That's why most of the time you go and return the cloth and try to get the money back or change it to another cloth where when you see another cloth, then again the vexation comes. Then you think that buying it would satisfy your vexation, and then you buy it. But again the same thing happens. That why you have a closet full of clothes at your house, and none of them gives a blissful feeling to you. So likewise, you have to think, and you have to think that what you need is actually something to cover up your body, to get rid of all the coldness, to get rid of all the external harm done by animals and stuff. So mosquitoes and other animals. So to get rid of that, you need clothes. But as normal people who are having normal jobs in the society, you cannot have just plain clothes. Sometimes you have to blend into the society, so you have to have an appropriate cloth. But appropriate cloth is uh, bought not because you find it blissful, but because you have to anyway live in this normal society. So you use a normal cloth that is not actually increasing your uh, uh, attachment, or you become a highlighted person because you are now wearing something substandard. So not like that. You are just meeting the standards. You are just not trying to become highlight because of what you call because of practicing Dhamma. So you become as as much as possible. You become neutral about everything. So about buying these clothes, when it comes to buying also, you see that there's no value, there's no benefit, or there's no blissfulness that is there in this cloth, but I have to buy it because it is how the world works. So uh, now in with that mindset, if you buy something, that is because it is necessary and not because you have ragging thoughts. So with that, this person, since in the person in the scenario, since he has lot of clothes at his house, he definitely don't want to buy this. The buying mindset is coming because of his ragic actions, ragic thoughts, and because of avidya. So hence this avidya is also a result, as we discussed before. It is because of the social norm, it is because of peer pressure, and it is because of external stimuli that created the basic shape of avidya into a shape where you want to buy, where you see Nicha Sukata Subha in clothes. So think about what this person would have achieved if he get rid of this ragic experience. So he would not have felt so out of place when he sees this outfit. He would have just kept his calm and peace while he's walking to the office. He wouldn't have felt he wouldn't have spent that much of money on an unnecessary item, and um, he wouldn't have separated from the blissfulness that he felt when buying the outfit. Because as soon as you bought it, as soon as you wear it, that that first when it crosses in when it is when it crosses the first instance that you use it, when it crosses the first time you bought it, that blissfulness would go, just vanish. Because as soon as it is achieved, then there's no vexation, then there's no blissfulness. You have become more neutral already. So You have to think that there's nothing blissful in the outside item. It is my mindset, my vexatious mindset, that makes this item uh, uh, item of importance. So with that kind of, if you have that kind of a mindset, you are able to get remove a chunk of vexation from your mind. So now you don't have now, since you have not ingested the venom or the poison of that outfit, you don't feel vexatious and you don't have sufferings, dukkha dukkha sankhara dukkha viparinama dukkha. So you know that you cannot have anything according to this blissfulness according to your expectation, and expectation is to have blissful sensation through a cloth, but that does not happen. Instead, even after buying the cloth, you would be uh, you would uh, feel neutral, and again, see, when if the cloth becomes if the clothes get decayed, if the clothes get destroyed, if the cloth was stolen, if something happens to the clothes that is not intended and that is not of good interest, something happens to the clothes, then you would become then it would create the element of suffering, and that is not according to expectation. You cannot control according to expectation. So that can happen, and because of that you would be in fear. Because of that you would not just keep that cloth in the public area because someone can steal it. You would be in fear, and this all the problems would come. So you can think in different ways where you can what do you call emphasize this quality of anicca, dukkha, and anatta in an instance of raga, dvesha, and moha. And when you emphasize that anicca, dukkha, and anatta characteristics in an instance of raga, dvesha, moha, that ragic the instance or the dvesha and moha would start to get eliminated from your life. So now this person, after practicing Dhamma, what he did was he is actually understanding that he should not get attached to these kinds of things, and he somehow uh, do the vipassana meditation just like we discussed, and then he was able to get rid of this problem where he is very fond of, and where he is very attached to shopping. He has become a shopaholic, shopaholic, or um, he's very fond of shopping. So what happens after removing that, getting rid of that uh, vexatious mindset? Then he would be normal. Then he would be able to go to a a mall without getting a vexatious mindset. For a person who is having a mindset where the avidya is there for buying clothes, that person would always want to buy clothes when he goes to a mall. He would be able to stay calm in a mall. So where there are a lot of new clothes, new fashions and everything. So that person wouldn't be able to stand still in that place because he has created a so vexatious mindset. He would be suffering a lot. But for this person who has followed the Arya pathway, who has gotten rid of all these vexatious feelings, now feels that it now feels it as normal, but because his wisdom has developed to a state where he sees nothing important in these kinds of fashionable clothes. So now he is in the mall with his friends without breaking his peace, without breaking his calmness. Now that is a aspect of Nibbana that you have reached. You have got rid of raga, and you have moved towards Nibbana. Because if you are devoid of raga, that is Nibbana. So you are in that pathway, you are towards that goal, and you have removed one of or two of your ragic uh, inputs or ragic things that happens in your life. So you are getting closer to Nibbana. So now this person got rid of the second problem as well. Now he went to the office, and in the office, he does his work well with the intention of getting praised by others. So he do all the things asked by his higher officials, or let's say he has a boss. So he listens to his boss and does everything he asks. And what the boss does is he praises this person, says that this person is good and this is the best employee we have in this office, and he was nominated 2 or 3 times as the best employee of the office, and he feels very happy about achieving that title several times. And he spends his life, his day, being happy and doing everything that is told and getting praised. And unfortunately, on this day that we are talking, he made a big blunder, and because of that, his boss started scolding at him in front of everyone and said that this person should never have become the employee of the month, because he has done this kind of a big blunder that might even that might even cause the, the, the very cause a big problem in the office. So even lose the boss's job. So that kind of a thing happens, and then this person becomes very upset, because if he like getting praised, if he like getting good, if he likes to hear good things about him, if some people say good things about him, if some people say that he is nice and good, so that kind of a mindset, or that kind of inputs would create a very blissful mindset. So because because there's avidya. So what is avidya here? In here he has created the avidya of getting praised. So he has the mindset of uh, what do you call this there's a seeking mindset that seeks praises. So this person seeks praises, and that is because of the avidya, that is Nicha Sukata Subha characteristic, where the person thinks that getting praised is valuable. It is Nicha, it is Sukha, and it is Atha, and it is Subha. But in reality, you cannot have anything according to expectation. So he was afraid that he would one day get scolded. One day the boss would get upset at him. That's why he did everything that the boss or the officials asked, so that this day would never come. So he was in fear. So unfortunately, since this is anicca, that we cannot control according to our expectations, that day came. And when that day come, what happens? This person becomes so upset, because he was attached to one thing, and when the things that you are attached get or the another thing happens, or the things go out of the place, or since you cannot control it, then the result is a conflicting mind, an angry mind, a sad mind, or we call it dvesha. The second type of mind occurs. The first one is attachment, and he was enjoying the attachment and the results of it, but he never knew he has already ingested the poison, and he was actually suffering because of it. Why? Because he was doing everything that is possible to get appreciated, so that they are sankara dukkha, and he was afraid that something could happen, and that is vexation, that is dukkha dukkha. He was always trying to create this mindset out of fear, and finally viparinama dukkha came, and his bubble broke, and he is now experiencing lot of pain and suffering. So this is what happens when you get attached to something. So now dvesha, when it comes, it can be due to a scolding that happens, it can be due to your children don't listening to you, it can be due to the people next door having a loud sound, it can be due to anything. It is because you want to have it in another way, and you want to have it in a controlled way that you like. But the world is not like that. As soon as you thought of controlling it, as soon as you thought of having it according to expectation, then at that moment you become a reason for suffering. And that reason, or all the reasons are created, all the causes for suffering are created, and when the things go out of place, that suffering would just be real. And that is the hardest part when that happens. But before that also, you have to do certain things to control. You have to, just like in this scenario, you have to work, you have to perform more than the other people in order to have that status uh, uh, coming to you, towards you, that praises coming towards you. So for that you have to have that mindset of doing more and more work. So that is not a blissful feeling, doing more work, and the feeling that you would get somehow scolded, or some other person would get praised more than you would actually create a vexatious mindset. And finally, that would, as it cannot be controlled according to expectation, the final result would come and you would end up in dvesha. So since you have nothing to do about it when someone starts scolding, so what if this person has understood this much, and he thought that this is a problem in me. I have I got so much. I became so sad about this, and this should not happen. I am an Arya. I should know how to get rid of raga, dvesha, and moha, and make my life easy. So what should I do? I should find the root cause. So what is the root cause? So from the first day of my office, I always try to get appreciated from the boss. So that's the root cause. So since I have a mindset like that, I have created these causes for so long. Now I am so upset when it happens, when this goes wrong. So I have to get rid of this mindset. So you are seeing, just like we discussed right now, you are seeing the negative aspects or adina of this kind of a mindset. So you see that lot of sankara dukkha, lot of lot of viparinama dukkha, sa- dukkha characteristic. You are seeing the dukkha characteristic of dukkha. Then you are seeing anicca characteristic and anatta characteristic as well. So when you see these kind of things, the value given to this kind of mindset starts to reduce. Then you would not seek that kind of attention from your boss. You would just be a normal person, because it was just a suffering feeling that you had gone through so far. So this person, the boss, would not appreciate you anymore, and you would not feel uh, bad about it. You would just be okay with it, and you would just do your work. It does not say that it does not imply that you should not do your duties and stuff. You are doing the normal duties that are needed to your job. That if you get a salary, then you have to do your part to do the relevant job that is needed, because otherwise it would be anyway immoral to have a salary without doing work, or without doing your work genuinely. So you would genuinely do your work, but you would cut down the extra effort, and that would be blissful, and that would create a blissful mindset, normal mindset, a very calm and quiet mindset. And just like the person's mindset, which we saw at the when he was walking by the shopping mall, just like that, the person's mindset would become calm and quiet and peaceful when he is at the office, because he is now not seeking any attention from other people. So at that instance, if by mistake anything happens and the boss scolds you, you would not feel upset, because you would not looking for any praises. When it goes the other way around, you are not you are not upset about it. You would see that this is the anicca dukkha anatta nature of the world. I cannot control it. Even if he says good things, I cannot control it according to my expectation. So why would I get attached? If he says bad things, then since it cannot be controlled according to my expectation, why would I get attached? If I get attached, if I say that these things are good, these things the opposite of that, those things get bad at the same time. So when the opposite happens, you would get suffering, you would get the element of suffering. So that's what you need to understand with this scenario. So we understood how to get rid of raga, how to get rid of dvesha. So this is just 2 or 3 instances. You have to reflect on yourself. This is a meditation that is done with wisdom. That is the important part. You cannot do it with just having just this is not just a meditation. Just it is not like just breathing meditation. For that, you don't have to have zero any wisdom to do it. You just have to focus on breathing, 1, 2, 3, 4, and stuff like that. But when it comes to vipassana, you should have wisdom. So you should reflect on yourself. You should analyze your life. You should find out where your raga is there in your life, where dvesha is there in your life, where more, especially raga and dvesha. So I'll tell you about moha in a second. So especially raga and dvesha in your mind. So when that happens, the meditation from one person to another would be totally different, because if you have different set of raga and different set of moha, that person's meditation would be different from another one who is having a different set of moha and a different set of raga and dvesha. So these people would start practicing this kind of meditation, where he is always trying to get rid of these vexatious mindsets, ragic mindsets, mindsets full of dvesha. So when that is being eliminated from your life, you would feel the peace. You would feel uh, the blissfulness of Nibbana. And that is Nibbana. So you feel the suffering getting reduced. The reduction of suffering is seen as Nibbana. You would see like this. Before, I did not, I was a very person who chooses very much when it comes to food. And I suffered a lot because of that. I did not want to eat this kind of food, that kind of food, and that made a lot of suffering in my life. I had to go here and there to have food. I had to find and prepare and earn more and more to buy stuff and prepare again to have food, and this eating food, and this vexation never goes away. And now, since this vexation is over, because I have done what is needed, that is vipassana. Since I have practiced vipassana, now my mindset is so calm. I can have anything that is prepared, which fills my belly. The only problem I have is hunger, and that would also end when I uh, reach the full enlightenment someday and attain nibbana. So likewise, you would feel the free nature. You would feel the peace, and that would be the blissfulness, and you would actually like that. You would not like to get raga again because you like the new mindset where you are reduced, you have reduced suffering, and this reduction is would be seen as Nibbana. And this is not the ultimate Nibbana, or but you are seeing an aspect of it. From when it comes to food, you have achieved Nibbana. When it comes to food and when it comes to clothes, your mind is free and calm. And that would be there if you have understood it fully and practice this fully. And this would remove all these ragic thoughts in your mind, all the dvesha thoughts in your mind, and that would end removing all the raga dvesha, and that is Nibbana. So about moha. So moha is the foolishness or ignorance, if we can say ignorance. So what is ignorance? Ignorance is happening because of avidya. So avidya and ignorance, they have the same kind of a meaning. But when it comes to moha, now raga does not occur independently. It is because of moha that raga occurs. It is because of ignorance, foolishness, that we think that there's this blissfulness in the food item, in the cloth, in getting praised. We have these kinds of a mindset, and that is because of our ignorant nature, idiotic nature. So that would go away when the raga is going away. So there's an element of or part of moha that is there with raga. There's a part of moha that is attached to dvesha. So when you are eliminating raga and dvesha, that part attached to raga, moha part attached to raga, as well as moha part attached to dvesha, would just go away along with raga and dvesha. So there's another part of moha that is there in one's life. When you when you get rid of dvesha and raga, especially kama raga and patiga, so that is called raga and dvesha. There are three parts of raga as kama raga, rupa raga, and arupa raga. So when you reach anagami, what happens is your meditation, vipassana meditation, becomes so powerful. You get rid of kama raga, and that is the raga that happens because of sensual pleasures. So, and kama raga and patika, or the conflicting mindset, would be totally gone. So with that, the moha that is there with raga as well as dvesha would be gone. But there would be this fine moha, which should be eliminated by the samma samadhi, because samma samadhi is what generates this wisdom of uh, reality. So when you understand, or when you get this wisdom of reality, this you would understand that there's nothing to call as me, and nothing means there's the calling me and mine is not appropriate. That's what you would understand. It is not necessary to call this me and mine, and thinking that this belongs to me and mine, because in reality it is a act or something that cannot be controlled according to our expectation. So eyes cannot be controlled according to our expectation, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind. So if nothing can be controlled according to our expectation, then how can we call that we are the owners? That is not appropriate, and that would be understood fully of out of wisdom when you reach that point. So that would eliminate all the moha as well. So this is a pathway. So this is like climbing a staircase. So if you climb up a staircase, you have to start with the lowest stair. So you have to first get onto the lower stair, then again, then into the next immediate stair, not to the last one. So if you do continue that process where you always step on the next immediate step, then eventually you would get to the top. So what you need to initially do is get rid of raga and dvesha, and the mindset, the samma samadhi, which is created by this vipassana meditation, will eventually get you to the ultimate understanding, and that would make you and that would get you the ultimate bliss of Nibbana and to the Arihathood. So that's the explanation that I wanted to do initially. And there was another question as well. And in that question, it was asked that I have said that in the Deshana about the discussion about Paticcasamuppada, that I once said that this can be this can be operated but cannot be controlled. By that I meant, what I meant is, this cannot be controlled according to our expectation. So operation. Then now let's take a vehicle, right? So we are operating the vehicle, but can we control it? Now the operation, the effect of operation is actually coming as a it's a effect, or it's a trick actually. It is something happens when all the things align. The ability of operating something occurs when all the causes align. Think about our body. So our body, in our body, we cannot raise our hand according to our expectation, because lot of systems should synchronize together, should work in collaboration for this hand to raise up. Nervous system should work, musculoskeletal system should work, and our brain cells and everything should work, and our mind should, when the signal is given from our mind to raise the hand, if everything works together, then this is seen as it is operated. So otherwise, so the nature, or the site of operation of this body, or in fact everything else, is actually happening because of causes getting aligned to give out the result. But in that instance also, we don't have any control over it, because if we had control, if something, if someone named me, myself, had control over this body, over the other elements, everything in the external and internal world, then regardless of what is there, what causes align, I would be able to do whatever I want. That is what I meant by controlling. So regardless of inactive nervous system, regardless of a damaged nervous system, a musculoskeletal system, still I would be able to raise my hand, because that is my expectation. That is how I would control. But that does not happen. So for a vehicle, if you get into the vehicle and start the vehicle, and you are just moving forward, you are turning, or you are taking turns, and you are braking and changing gears and doing all sorts of stuff. So when that is happening, but the thing is, you're operating the delusion of operation, or it's not a delusion, it's an illusion of operation, is seeing. But at that point also, there's no controlling, because since everything is getting aligned together, this vehicle is moving forward, not because this not because you have control over it. If you had control over it, regardless of all the check engine lights, regardless of all the problems, that engine problems, regardless of all the brake problems, regardless of all the things that can happen, that can go wrong, you would be still able to go to your destination without a problem, because that is what you expect, that is what your expectation is, and that is how you would control the vehicle. But this does not happen like that, and that is what I meant by this operation and control. So I hope you got understanding about that. And if I missed any of the questions that was asked before, that I promised I would answer, please put it into the chat, or just speak up and tell me, so that I could cover those aspects as well. And if you have any questions on today's discussion, I think I got a I explained you a scenario and tried to be more practical and tell you how to start this practically, and how to apply this practically, where this is not about putting more and more effort. This is about actually getting rid of all the bad decisions and bad wrong ideologies that you have in your mind, so that your life would become easier, ultimately ending this samsaric suffering. So that, with that understanding, if you have any questions, you can ask. If you have any questions, you can put it in the chat as well.
Thank you very much, Thero, for that explanation. As you suggested, maybe we can ask the participants if you have any questions on the practical aspects of doing such RA meditation. Use the opportunity to ask where Thero could further explain it to you. Or any other questions, or as Thero said, missed any questions that was directed to Thero in the last days leading to today's discussion. We will give some time in case you want to put it into the text chat box, or feel free to switch on your mics and share your question to us. Thank you very much.
Yeah. In the meantime, I would turn on the lights. I think we promised that we would discuss about this Dasa Sanyojana, or Sakkaya Ditthi Silabbata Paramasa Vichikicha and everything today. But let's see whether we have time, because it's a bit of a big topic to discuss. Let's sort this out first, and if we have time, then we would try. Otherwise, we would postpone it to the next session.
Sure, then we'll give a little time, Thero, for them if there are any questions, and then take it.
I hope you you understood about how to practice this practically. It is not about applying this to each and everything that happens in your life. It is about eliminating raga, dvesha, and moha only. So elimination of raga, dvesha, and moha is actually called Nibbana. So with that understanding, you have to think about the defilements that are created in you, not about everything that is created in your life. Just focus on the defilements that are created out of raga, dvesha, and moha. This is what is focused on in the eightfold pathway as well. So you are focusing on defilements, and you are finding the root cause of it, and you are eliminating the roots, so that the defilements would not occur again.
Thero, just a small input. I think the small setting change where the screen has switched or turned by maybe. Yes.
I think this is what happened when I turn this on. Yeah, now it's on.
We have not received any messages other than maybe some of them have or they have understood what you have mentioned. Thero, do you want to take forward maybe components of the Dasa Sanyojana, or do you have to do it in one instance? I'm not sure. I'm just asking whether you want sort of.
Yeah, we'll move forward because if we do not have time to finish all of it, since they are not very connected to one another, we can still do it. So we can finish half of the Sangyojana today and then the other half on the next day as well. Where the main focus is on the first three, because that is the problem most of us are having, because those are the things that are get eliminated at the Sotapanna Phala. So we would just try to focus on the first three, or again on the first five if we have time. So if you have questions, just add it into the chat. So at the end of the discussion, we can have a discussion on that as well. Otherwise, we'll move forward with the discussion where we are going to understand about Sakkaya Ditthi, Vicikiccha, and Silabbata Paramasa. There was a question about Vicikiccha as well, put forward for me in the last week, during the last week, and for this explanation would cover that aspect as well. So Sakkaya Ditthi. Now we are going to the etymology, so it would be easier for us to understand what Sakkaya Ditthi means. Sat means good, perceived as good. The Kaya means a combination. Now I'll explain what accumulation or a combination would be the name that can be given to Kaya. And Ditthi means the vision, or the idea, or this is the ideology of somebody when that person is a lay person who has not become an Arya. Satkaya Ditti. So what is Kaya? Kaya is a combination. Everything is Kaya when it is processed. So for example, our eye, two eyes are Kaya. Chakukaya, we call it. And we have our ears are Kaya. Our body, our nose, our tongue, everything can be called as Kaya. And this monastery is a Kaya. Then trees are Kaya. Then what do you call, anything that is there in this world is a combination. Let's say there's a table. Now the table is a combination of things. If you look closely, it is made of wood, and it is a combination of wood that created the table. And you can see it from different angles. So 4 legs and a flat surface made of wood created the table. So that's another way of seeing it. So it's a combination. So if you remove the 4 legs, even if you remove 1 leg, there's no table. There's a part of a table, but it's not a table. So for this chair, it's also a combination. So if it's a plastic chair, it's a combination or the accumulation of plastic in a certain way that creates the chair. So likewise, our body is a combination of cells, we can say. Everything is a combination of atoms. So you get the idea what Kaya means. So it can be physical and it can be non-physical as well when it comes to Kaya. So our mind is also a kaya. So thoughts are also kaya. That is called manokaya and dharmakaya. So likewise, there are a lot of kaya. So what we do in what happens when someone becomes an Arya is you have this vision, you have this ideology that kaya are good. Kaya is perceived as good. So anicca, dukkha, and anatta is not understood by a normal person. So the original or the default is Nitya Sukha Atta Subha. So Nitya Sukha Atta Subha gives the idea of good, value, importance. So what what do we give? What do we see important or valuable? So we see images as valuable. We see sounds as valuable. We see smells, tastes, touches, and thoughts as valuable, and they are all kaya. And if you have this vision that images are valuable, yeah, you would say that some images are not valuable. I would not spend a penny on this painting. And this painting is very valuable, and it is very nice, and it explains the creativeness of the painter. So I would spend even ₹1,000 or $1,000 on this painting. So likewise, you would value things, you would value images. And would you value if you have seen the anicca, dukkha, and anatta nature? You would not value. You would see that this everything is of anicca, dukkha, and anatta nature. What is there to perceive as good? So the vision or your ideology would change 180 degrees. That means totally upside down. And your vision about this world, that this world is perceived as good, would change. So that's the initial Sanyojana that would be eliminated. So these three would get eliminated at the same time. So it would be like first one goes first, then second one, then third one, then you become Sotapanna. When you reach the Sotapanna Phala, Sotapanna state, all three would get eliminated at the same time, and you would understand why after you after we understand how this works. So Satkaya Ditti, or the vision about that this word or Kaya are good, would be gone. But the Satkaya Sanya would be there until you reach Anagami. So even if you know that there's no value or good things to get attached to this word, you know that in your vision, you know, but still you get attached. Still you know this is what happens when until you become anaga. So you know that food is not good. There's nothing to the food actually gives you pain and suffering, and nothing good comes from attaching to the food item. So like the scenario we discussed before, like what we have tried to understand before from the scenario. So in that also we try to understand that this food item is actually, when you get attached to it, it does not give any blissful sensation. In fact, it gives the quite opposite of it. It gives a lot of suffering, and this view would be there in the Sotapanna. But since this person has not eliminated the Satkaya Sanya, he would still get attached, and after some time he would again get to the understanding that I should get rid of it, and then he would get rid of it again on the next day. Also sometimes he can get attached. So this should go away when someone when someone is uh, developing the path or practicing the pathway. Otherwise the pathway would not develop. or the path, or the person's or the person's state of wisdom would not develop. So what you need to understand here is that when someone get attached to something, so some this kind of a thing, it is because of the satkaya sanya. So sanya, for example, sanya means um, the 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 recognition. So the recognition part is actually corrupted. So his vision is pure, his vision is clean, but recognition, he is still without, if he is not mindful about the thing, about the new vision, his recognition would be absurd, corrupted. So he would recognize this as good and just use the old technique of having blissful experience with the food item. So in a while, after start practicing the pathway, then your recognition, or the corrupted recognition, would start to melt away or get removed gradually, and then all the recognition, or the sakkaya sanya would be gone, fully eliminated, and that would generate that would create the anagami phala. So for this instance, we are talking about sakkaya ditti. So what sakkaya ditti means now. So sakkaya ditti, after that there is sakkaya ditti vichikicha. So vichikicha means, it comes with two words, kanka vichikicha. The kanka means, so it is very hard to put it into English and translate it to put it into English or translate it to English, because it is very connected with the traditions and the normal, or the slang language, or normal language people talk in day-to-day lives, using the cultural background. So kanka means, you do not give a place. Kanka means you do not give a place. What is the place that you give? So if something is important, something is valuable, if something is perceived as important and good, let's say, you find that saving trees is valuable as a person, as a as a person who likes to protect the environment, you find saving trees is valuable, and you give a place for saving trees in your life. You give a place for it. You think, and you do what is needed to save the trees, because you have found a value in environment. So that's why you are giving value. For a person who is a timber exporter, or a person who cuts timber, cuts trees for timber, so in this business field, that person would not give a place for saving trees. Just like that, kanka means you do not give a place, and vichikicha means they are not, because of that, what would happen is, you would end up in corrupted activities, or bad immoral activities. Vichikicha. Then now the vichikicha, kanka vichikicha would be gone at sotapanna phala. Now there are 8 places where one would get this vichikicha. So vichikicha is also translated as doubt in some places, but the doubt is also, it is not the doubt of whether I closed the door, or whether I did not close the door kind of a doubt. It is a doubt about specific 8 places. Doubt about Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, that's 3, and doubt about the Shiksha, or the pathway, or the guideline to Nibbana. So that's 4. And doubt about present existence, the doubt about past existence, and doubt about the doubt about future existence, and doubt about past existence, and doubt about both past and future existences. And the final one is there's this doubt about itappaccheta paticca samuppada, and that is what we discussed in the previous few sessions. So you get this doubt. So when there's this doubt, you do not give a place for Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. So that's why Kanka comes. So you do not give a place for the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, just like you did not give a place for trees because you do not find any importance in saving the environment. Just like that, since you do not know about Anicca, Dukkha, Anatta, or the reality of the world, you do not give a place for Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. That results in corrupted actions. Corrupted in the sense you do immoral actions to fulfill your needs, do bad things to fulfill your needs. So the doubt is also there, the actions also are corrupted, and you do not give the necessary uh, importance that should be given to Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. But when someone attains Sotapanna, since his idea about the world changes, since his Sakkaya vision is eliminated, now he almost always give a place for Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. He has no doubts about Buddha or the technique of eliminating bhava, that is Buddha, and the Dhamma, which is the pathway that should be practiced for it, and Sangha, the elimination of Sang, or Raga Dvesha Moha, the way how to eliminate Raga Dvesha Moha, Sangha, or how the practicing of Dhamma would reach to Arihat Phala, or eliminate all the defilements and all the sufferings, getting you to blissful Nibbana. So that you would not have any doubts about that. You would not have any doubts about past existence, future existence, and past and future existences, because you when you understand how the Paticca works, when you understand how the world works, the everything is a cause and a result of causes. So when you understand that, you would not get doubtful about these things, and you would not get doubtful about the Pacheta Paticca as well, because when you understand it fully, that is the name which is given is Sotapanna. So understanding this much, these 12 components of Paticca and how the world works, how the bhava and jati and emanation of um, world and emanation of everything through Paticca occurs. When you understand that, then you are you are away from, you have already eliminated Sakkaya Ditti and Vichikicha as well. So you do not do any corrupted activities. That's why the person, a Sotapanna person, would not go to 4 hells, because he is away, or he has removed all the corrupted activities that can happen out of defilements, um, because of this understanding. So Silabbata Paramasa. Silabbata Paramasa means there are, if you haven't become Sotapanna, a person who is not Sotapanna would do various kinds of things, thinking that these can give the salvation, or make his life blissful. So he or she would do various kinds of different kinds of things, thinking that maybe praying would help, maybe different things are done by different people for for blissfulness, for salvation. So these wrong actions would get eliminated. That person, so for example, in Supreme Buddha's time, people acted as cows. People lived a life just like a dog. So they used all the four limbs for walking. They used their mouth to eat. They did not wear any clothes. They just acted like a dog and thought that acting like a dog would give them salvation, give them the wisdom that they want. And some acted like cows, and some did not wear clothes, and some were half immersed in water up until the neck and tried to uh, get the salvation, get the wisdom. So likewise, they did various sorts of things. Even now also, there are people who does those kinds of things. Now, those people do not go to that kind of extreme measures, but they also try to do various kinds of things to for salvation. So they, they they use various kinds of methods. So likewise, this these wrong methods would be eliminated as soon as one sees the real Dhamma, as soon as one sees the real pathway. So Silabbata Paramasa would be gone. So Sakkaya Ditthi would be gone. Silabbata Paramasa would be gone. Vichikicha would be gone. So these three, elimination of these three at the same time when someone becomes Sotapanna is the elimination of three Sanyojana Dhammas, and the remaining seven is eliminated at various points of um, of the pathway that is there for an RA to practice. So the next one is Sakadagami. And at Sakadagami, the next two is Kama, Raga, and Patika. And these Kama, Raga, and Patika would get reduced to an extent when you reach Sakadagami. And at the Anagami Pala, it would be eliminated fully. And at Arihat only, the last five, that means Ruparaga, Aruparaga, Mani, Uttacha, Avidya would be eliminated. So that's how the thing works. So if I explain about the Kamaraga and Patika, so the Kamaraga is actually is about uh, the attachment to sensual pleasures. So Kama, we have to go to the etymology to understand this word. So Kama, Ama means Nibbana. Ama means peace. Ka means you have already removed that part. So you are removed or eliminated the Ama or Nibbana. So elimination or the removal of the peaceful and the independent nature is actually Kama. So Kama Raga. So Raga is actually roaming in that blissful environment, roaming, prioritizing it and roaming on the uh, blissful environment. So for Kama, it mainly focuses on the nose, tongue, and body. So there are things or the smells that are taken from the nose, there are tastes that are taken from the tongue, and there are touches that are taken from the body. So these three are mainly focused in Kamaraga. So that's how the peace is just gone. So because these, when you are attached to these three, they just takes away your peace, takes away your Nibbana. So there's another part that should be that should come to the list. That is the things that you see and things that you hear, but those things should be attached with the that those things should contribute the nose, tongue, and the body. For example, if you, let's say, you are seeing a food item, so that sight also falls under kama. So you are hearing about preparing a delicious kind of a food. So that listening or that sound also falls under kama. So there are sites that does not fall under kama, and that is called ruparaga. So that's how that's how we find the line or the separation between between these two. So for ruparaga, it's eyes and ears. So for ruparaga, there are statues of Supreme Buddha, pictures of flowers. There are pictures or scenes and sites of waterfalls, mountains, forests, and various kinds of stuff that are not connected with nose, tongue, or even the body. They are just purely inputs that are taken from the eyes that does not contribute any of the last three of the five senses. So just like that, there are sounds as well. So we know what sounds are called kama, and the rest of the sounds fall under rupa raga. So what are those? This sermon, it does not it is not connected to nose, tongue, or body. And there are other other uh, other sounds. Let's say a sound a bird makes, a sound of a elephant, whatever it is. But let's say there's this song that praises about uh, sexuality. So that kind of a thing would not fall under Rupa Raga, but it would fall under Kama Raga because it is associated with the touch. And there's this advertisement that praises about this important or this very expensive uh, perfume. So that's about nose. So that falls under this Kama Raga. So this Rupa Raga is about eyes and ears, but those are also the things that are solely taken from inputs taken from eyes and ears that does not contribute any of the last three of the five senses. So that's Rupa Raga. Then there's Arupa Raga. In Arupa Raga, it's about mind. So no Rupa. Rupa means images. So no nothing that is perceived from eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and body, but mind only. So things when someone is only attached or prioritizing things that are uh, mental, that are thoughts, that is called rupara. So these are higher Sanyojana. So from up above the from until the first five, it is called Orambagya, and the last five are called Uddambagya. Uddam means higher. So the last five are higher Sangyojanas that are actually eliminated at the Arihat pathway. And the first five are the things that you should focus on. Anyway, you have removed the first three. If you have understood the Dhamma, then you have focused on the next two, which is Kamaraga and Patiga, and the reduction of Kamaraga and Patiga would get you to Sakadagami, and elimination of Kamaraga and Patiga would get you to Anagami. And what you need to understand between those two phala are Sakadagami. When you reach Sakadagami, someone would be having the idea that this is called Vastu Kama and Klesha Kama. So the person would eliminate the the need to own things that give sensual pleasures. Then the initially what Sotapan would have is he would like to own things that are, let's say, for example, it's like this. So there's this vehicle. So this Sotapanna person likes comfort, likes the vehicle, and he wants the vehicle to be his, so that he can use the vehicle every day. So when you become Sakadagami, you do not want the vehicle to yourself. You do not care whether you own it or another person own it, but you like to go in that vehicle. So even if another person gives you a lift, that doesn't make a difference in that person's mind. But when that vehicle do not come, then that becomes a problem, because he likes to go to somewhere in that vehicle, because he likes the comfort, but he does not like to he does not have the mind to own that in order to have that. That also, when someone becomes anagami, that also goes away. So he does not care whether he goes. Uh, that means the klesha karma also will be gone. So he does not get a conflicting mindset or angry or a sad mindset. If you do not, if he wasn't, he was not able to go in that vehicle, he would just use his foot, and he would walk on foot to his destination, or find another way of going there, or just cancel it without a problem. So just like that, there's a difference. So when someone is having vastu kama, they would like to have that items that give pleasure, uh, that gives gratification and sensual pleasures to themselves. That means to own them. But when you reach anagami, sakadagami, that would be gone. And since the kamaraga patika will be fully eliminated at anagami pala, so the prioritizing or the looking for these five senses that are specially that are focused on last three senses, nose, tongue, and body, would be gone, along with the what you call conflicts that happens. That means the negative or the second mind that occurs because of that. So both would be gone at the same time. It's just like when one side of the coin is gone, the other side of the coin is gone anyway. You cannot have a one-sided coin. You just get the both sides or nothing. So at Anagami Pala, both sides would be gone. So Kamaraga and Patiga would be gone at the same time. But this finer Sanyojana would be eliminated with a very high level of samadhi, with a very high level of wisdom, which are the last few steps of this pathway. And you would not be able to understand the last few steps when you are at the bottom of a staircase, but you only understand the immediate step in front of you. So just focus on the immediate step in front of you, the next immediate step. So if you get in the next immediate step, then the step which was higher becomes the next immediate one. So likewise, when you go up the stairs one day, those also become just the immediate next step. And that is how this pathway is fulfilled. It's a ascending pathway. You have to ascend gradually. Just cannot skip parts of it and just fulfill the last bit. So that's what is needed to understand. Hope that gives explanation on these first five Sanyojana. I don't remember what he asked initially with this with the questions. So since it was posted last week, if you have any more questions about that, or about the sermon in general, you can ask.
Thank you very much, Thero, for that explanation. We've reached about 2 hours into the session, but if there are any questions, as Thero mentioned, or clarifications required, we can take it up. So please either put it into the chat or do use the mic to inform us. Thank you.
I had to say that it is the putting those questions, asking about this, how to the questions you get when you are trying to practice it and try to understand through these explanations.
Thero, I believe there is a
So we are people who have very little amount of wisdom, but that would be enough for our tasks to be fulfilled. But the only thing is we to take a bit of effort and bit of time. So you have to practice, and it takes time, and with that practice your mindset would become free, and you would be able to identify the nature or the value of peace and the Nibbana, and you would understand how elimination of raga, dvesha, moha by seeing it as anicca, dukkha, anatta would get you there. And that experience, when you get that experience from when you practice it, you would get that experience, and that experience would confirm how blissful, what a blissful pathway this is. So that for until that you have to get the guidance, get the information, get the necessary answers for your questions, and try to practice it, and again ask questions about the practicing, whether you have any problem, whether you are doing it right or wrong, and then that would help you to eliminate the sufferings. And that is how the quality of Dhamma would be achieved, which is Sandittika nature. You would be able to identify that Raga is reducing, Dvesha is reducing, and Moha is reducing, and I am on the correct path. So that's the pathway you need to understand.
Thank you very much, Thero. Since we have not received any further questions, maybe we can close the session with a short anumodana.
Okay. So today we discussed mainly about practicing the Arya Dhamma, and it is very important because we are practicing. The practicing is the most important part when it comes to Arya Dhamma, because it is not something that is achieved overnight. Sometimes it takes time, and it takes the development of understanding. And today we tried to develop our understanding while going through the characteristics of reality. Those are anicca, dukkha, and anatta. And as stated in Dakkhina Vibhanga Sutta, it is the highest level of meritorious deed that one can do, by reminding yourselves of the anicca, dukkha, and anatta nature. So since you have done that so many times during this discussion, and you are trying to understand Supreme Dhamma, listening to Dhamma is also a meritorious deed, you have generated immeasurable amounts of merits. And with these meritorious deeds, all the hindrances, barriers, and obstacles that you have in the Arya pathway would get diminished, and all the background and the necessary environment for you to comprehend the supreme Dhamma, ultimately eliminating all the sufferings in this world and attaining Nibbana would occur without a problem. And with that, with this meritorious power, may you all attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana with this thought. Accept this blessing with the sadhukara.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
And let us remind all the dead, diseased relations we had during the Sansaric journey, and people who helped us on the way, especially our dead relation, especially the teachers, mothers, fathers, and all the people who helped us during the Sansaric journey, people who gave us jobs, people who um, taught us what is right and what is wrong, especially people who gave us the supreme Dhamma, especially people who were the people who gave us a roofs to stay, people who constructed the workplaces we work, and all the people who helped in any way. And also let us remind the people who were hurted by us without knowing what is right and what is wrong, especially when we were um, ignorant about this world. We acted with we acted using the 10 immoral actions, 10 unwholesome acts, uh, to get whatever we want, whenever we want, regardless of who gets hurt and how bad it, how bad the people gets hurt. So there are many people and many sentient beings who were hurted by our immoral actions, and let us remind them as well in this occasion, and also let us send this meritorious power to them as well. And let us remind all the people who made this Zoom discussion a possibility, especially people who are behind the scene, especially people who created these platforms and everything, and also people who constructed these temples and everything, so that we can have discussions like this, and especially deities of six realms and 20 planes of Brahma as well. And let us remind all the sentient beings in this universe and transfer this meritorious power to them as well, regardless of wherever they are in this universe. If they are in miserable places, may they refrain from doing sins, may they replace those sins with meritorious deeds, and may they lead happy lives, ultimately understanding the reality of the world, ultimately attaining the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Accept this with metta and kindness, transferring this meritorious power to them with the sadhkara.
Sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay, with that, uh, mm, all the meritorious power where we generated, all the everyone who gathered here, everyone who listened, everyone who asked questions, everyone who cannot be seen and still join this kind of discussions, may get the background and may they attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana, ultimately understanding the reality of the world. Accept this blessing with the sadhukara.
Sadhu, sadhu.
Abhivadana seedis nichang vaddha vichayano chattaro dhamma vaddanti ayuvanno sukham balang ayurarogya sampatti sagga sampatti mevacha ato nibbana sampatti minate samicchatu sopatte vatheruvan saranai.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you very much, Thero, for your kind support and giving us the Dhamma and the explanations. And also many thanks to the participants for your questions that you shared with Thero the coming the days leading to this discussion. And as Thero said, we encourage you to use the Dhamma, practice it in your life, and the questions that you come from it, you may share with us in the group or with Thero directly, so maybe we can use that in the coming weeks for our discussions in our path to Nibbana. Theruvan Saranai Thero, thank you very much. Sadhu, sadhu.
Thero Saranai, everyone.
Everyone,